Today, this Friday and through the weekend, first of all, I'm going to tell you why you need to be on the radio and why you should begin to learn how to do radio. And we're going to have a little fun with that by talking about, could that ever be your moment of glory? What a unique word. What a unique phrase. Your moment of glory. What could that be? Well, if you'll join me, we're going to take a little time for a little reflection, perhaps some serious consideration, and perhaps have just a little bit of fun as we go from Friday into the weekend. This is the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience, brought to you by the Christian Entrepreneur Network, and the program begins right now. And it's a Friday afternoon flowing into the weekend, and we trust that you have something planned this weekend. Again, remember, we have a little formula that we use here. It is, as we come into the weekend, we've got work, because there's some errands and stuff we really have to kind of finish up. And then we flow into rest, some reflection, maybe some relaxation, and then worship. And then usually on Sunday night, we have a Sunday night meeting, planning, praying, and performing our hearts, minds, and spirits in an act of worship before the living God, so that we can meet the marketplace on Monday. So that's just a little theme that we usually pick up. Friday is oftentimes Future Day. I've coached many people on how to do their life and business, and many of them have said, Stan, Friday is Future Day, has actually been one of the best things we've ever done. All of my colleagues know, and sometimes even my customers know, that if they call me on Friday, it's a good thing that we should talk about future growth, future development, things that we want to achieve, and not just take care of past problems and deal with present situations. If you can get that routine going, it will go well for you. Well, who am I? My name is Stan Houston, and I'm a long-time international broadcaster, former missionary, though I never got that quite out of my system. As I oftentimes say, a missionary is kind of like a Marine, in the sense is once you are one, you never quite leave being one. So that's a part of what I'm doing right now as the co-founder and the director of the Christian Entrepreneur Network. And what we're here to do is, through our podcast, our radio programs, through a variety of videos, through a variety, we are going to have a lot of good stuff to help you as an aspiring, or perhaps right now enterprising Christian entrepreneur, find your way to seek a good life, build a great business, expand your brand, perhaps even expand your territory, and to make your unique mark in the marketplace for the good of your family, for the common good, and the glory of God. And we'd like that to be a part of what we are all about. And if we can help you, please reach out to us, because I think we can. I have a lot of experience in doing almost everything that the entrepreneur needs to do. I've worked with many of them through the years, and I can help you. Reach out to me at radioedge77@gmail.com. radioedge77. I'm having a little hard time talking today as a broadcaster. radioedge77@gmail.com. radioedge77@gmail.com. And part of the fun of that is, you've heard of Route 66. Well, we are on Route 77. Here in the state of Arizona, in the great cowboy area, the cactus land, the copper mining region of the world, even Pima cotton, if you've heard of that, is right nearby. And that's where we kind of have our headquarters for the Christian Entrepreneur Network. and for our Jesus Entrepreneur Experience. And so we're glad that you could join us, and we think that we could be helpful to you. It's kind of fun, but they did a fun job with it, and so I thought we would talk about that. We simply made the comment that in many ways we want to help do things that are to the glory of God. Well, how do we do that? Well, whenever I send out an email using a really fine organization called MailChimp. Now, I've used Constant Contact. They're good too. MailChimp is good. They're kind of a little bit better for the startup entrepreneur because they'll give you your first 2,500 subscribers. They will send those out to you complimentary. It's a free service after you get above 2,500 and a certain amount of send-outs every month. You have to update or upgrade or they upsell, but I use them and they do a wonderful job. So that's a little bit of a free plug if you're building your list, building your platform. Constant Contact was very nice to me. They're a little more expensive. MailChimp does a very fine job. But they have a fun thing. When you put your program all together, you go through and design it, and you first of all say, okay, here's going to be the title of my email, and here's who it's from, and here's the list it's going to go to, and you choose a design, and just before you send it, they get it all set up, and you click the send button, and the send button then brings you to a picture of a MailChimp, email-chimp, and a big button. And when you press or click that button, boom, it goes. So you want to be careful, check the edit, perhaps even do a test email. But they have a cute little line. And just before you click the button, it says, "Your moment of glory has come." Your moment of glory has come as you are sending out your email. And that got me to thinking. Now, that's a wonderful, cute little slogan. Now, let me just kind of coach you on that. They have a wonderful word, a wonderful slogan. It's a cute idea, but they execute it poorly because it took me a number of times before I even saw that little line down there. It was too small, and it was not dark enough. And so when I clicked that, I clicked it for a number of emails before I actually caught the joke where they said, "Your moment of glory has come." And I often said, hey, what they ought to do is they ought to highlight that a little bit more. When you do that, maybe some bells and whistles should go off and say, "Glory be," or something like that. They do have something that comes up and says, "High five," success to you. But I thought about that. They ought to need to work on that. See, even the best can improve. And so if MailChimp might have to check this out, and they'd say, yeah, that makes people smile. It makes them feel good. Your moment of glory has come. Congratulations. Glory be. May it go well for you. Something like that. Maybe even someone talking or cheering. There are all kinds of ways they could heighten that experience. And remember, all good marketing makes you smile. Have you got that? All good marketing makes you smile in some way. You may not agree. Think about it. Be aware of good marketing. Be aware of good commercials. Be aware of those things that attract you and perhaps catch your attention among all the thousands of messages that will come to you this day and this weekend. Good marketing makes you smile. However, on a serious note, what would be my moment of glory? I began to think about that Now, one of the reasons I take you in this direction, my friends, is that in my many years of being an entrepreneurial coach, I'm really good, and I'll say that, I'm really good with coming up with all kinds of ideas for marketing, communication, for business development. As my wife would say after hearing me talk, one time I gave a talk in our church and used some of my same principles in the spiritual life and development. And I was pleased. A number of people came up afterwards and they thanked me for the presentation. And one person talked to my wife, who was patiently waiting nearby. And she said to my dear wife, Karen, and she said, "My, this time with Stan was good. We covered a lot of stuff." And she said, "Yes, he's just full of it, isn't he?" Was the double meaning there? I kind of think so. By the way, I'm going to tell you about my wife in another broadcast. She has come up with a wonderful business idea that will really be unique. And it happened because one of her dear friends which has happened many times, but one of her dear friends, who is also one of the customers for her little statement jewelry business, has just discovered that she has cancer. And all of a sudden, my wife came up with an idea dealing with her jewelry business and with her dear friend, who we are now praying for and doing everything we can as she is dealing with the big C. And it's serious, It's serious. So pray for my wife, Karen, and pray for Suzanne. God knows who Suzanne is that you're talking about. What would be your moment of glory? What would that be like? I would just like you to think about that, because as many of the tips and techniques that we have, I have learned that it is the mindset. It really is the mind that does the work in entrepreneuring. It really is the spirit and the soul that does the work. Recently, Gallup has discovered that there is a certain strength and talent that will be very, very helpful to you, and you better take that test on discovering your entrepreneurial and your business building strengths. And in our upcoming workshop on being fully alive to make your mark in the world marketplace, we'll be talking about helping you discover your entrepreneurial strengths, your business building strengths, and then go to your church or go to an organization that will then help you discover your spiritual giftedness. Put those together, and something very powerful could be in line for you. As we'll talk about on Sunday, you might even discover your deep gladness. Let that word sit on your head. We'll talk about it Sunday night. Your deep gladness. But it is, as St. Paul said, what do you fill your mind with? And the entrepreneur, the Christian entrepreneur, has to do a lot of mind work as well as manufacturing and moving a product or service. And so we want to make sure we give time and emphasis to both of those unique and powerful characteristics and connections. I don't have an answer to my own question. And that's why I'm asking myself as well as asking you. MailChimp got me to be thinking about that. Because, no, sending an email didn't qualify as a moment of glory for me. Nice thought. Wish it would have. But of course it didn't. But it got me to think about that. Here I am. And there's a lot of things I have thought about. I've kind of planned my funeral, my memorial service. I know a lot about those things. I'm in the fourth quarter. I don't think I'm in the 2-minute warning yet, but I'm thinking about my mortality. How do I want to be remembered? But what would be at this age and stage and in the life and business that I've chosen right now, what might be a moment of glory? Well, all I'm going to do is, as we flow into the weekend, I'm going to bring this program to under 20-minute end and just ask you to think about that. What would be your moment of glory? I'm Stan Houston. This is radio, always on the edge, taking you to the edge of excellence and hopefully to a fuller enjoyment of the Jesus experience. And you know what? We'll be right back. And we're done and flowing into the weekend. Jackson, the Wonder Dog, has joined me in the studio today, and he decided to take a nap. You may have even heard him snore a little bit as he sits next to the microphone here. He always enjoys being with me, just as I enjoy being with you. And so I'd love to hear from you. I would love to have you on the program, not just Jackson snoring. So again, we would love to have you join us or talk to us or connect with us because we probably can help you in some way. Again, radioedge77@gmail.com, radioedge77@gmail.com. I would be grateful to hear from you. TCENglobal.org. TCENglobal.org is where we hang out. TCENglobal.org/contribute. I would be grateful if you'd go there. This is a non-profit organization. A lot of our work will depend not only on the sales that we make, but on the donations that you give. And this month, I'm grateful for the donations given by my good friend Charlie, or Charles, and Jaxie Miller, who have been eager supporters of Karen and I, and particularly of our new venture here that you are a part of called the Christian Entrepreneur Network. Till Sunday night, and perhaps next week, whenever we can join together, we wish you all the best and blessings. Take some time for thought and consideration. Again, rest, reflection, and of course, worship. God bless us all, everyone, and bye for now.